In this video trade, it's going to look at, would you trade this? Stay tuned. Hey guys, warm welcome to you. Alright, so in this series we're going to look at different chart examples, currency pairs, indices, stocks, etc. And we're going to ask the question, would you trade this? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to present a chart pattern, a price pattern, and we're going to, between us, kind of look at all the evidence and decide whether it would be a good short, whether we want to take it long. More than likely it's going to be, okay, would this be a good short, yes or no, not rather than a long. But what we can do is we can drill down and then we'll reveal exactly what happened, then look at, see if we could have seen that potentially. Now we've got to be careful not using hindsight here, and we've got to be careful that we're looking at this objectively, but this is a great little drill, if you like, I'm going to share with you guys, as well as to kind of remind yourself that, hey, there are some things that you've got to be careful of. There are some things that you've just got to go in and go with your full allocated risk on, and we'll, over the time, we'll kind of have this series and this will carry on over time, so make sure you got hit the subscribe button and all that good stuff, and we'll cover currencies, indices, commodities, stocks, etc. So what I've got for you now is United States Steel. United States Steel, this is the daily backdrop of it, pretty much getting hammered. It's been pushed down, it's been up and down all over the place the last few years, but Donald Trump has whatever he said regarding infrastructure, etc. This seems to be responding. But anyway, where we are now, we've gapped up in earnings and we've kind of gapped down a bit now. We're sort of sitting right by that low earnings. So I want to move to the 3-minute chart because that's what we're looking at. Gap lower, not only just a normal gap, but also a gap out of the prior day's range. And I'll try to do this without giving away too much. Let's just zoom over here, because we can see that actually we've gapped down over a 3-day level. So pretty interesting, but we've also got to remember that we've got this other little area down here after the earnings to worry about. So it's not so clear cut, but nevertheless, I would say, I think you'll agree, this is a bearish chart. This is bearish from a daily perspective, and also bearish right now. Okay, so what I'm looking at is this. Let's just zoom in a little bit and try not to reveal too much, just spoil the game. Okay, so we've gapped down. We've got a good downtrend on the daily. So we've got some attributes now for the bear side. Now we push down here and we pull back and we tag the VWAP. It's always nice when a price is weak and it's staying under the VWAP. That's ticking another box. Now what I want to look at is this point here. We start to rally up back to the VWAP, and there's a little, I've drawn a little uptrend line here now. We found some support down here. The time of day was about 6:30. So we're rallying up and it's around 8 o'clock. So there's about an hour left of trade UK time until the bell goes. The question I have for you is, would you consider that as a good short? Now the argument for the good short is that it's under the VWAP. We've got an hour to go. If people are going to dump stock, then we might get a good aggressive sell off into the close. We might even take out the low. We've got an hour and everyone's panicking. We're downtrend, we've gapped down, we've made no real attempt to close the gap. It looks bad on a daily. Looks pretty good right from a short perspective. So that's the short argument. The bullish argument, which is not for long, would be for not taking the short, is, okay, well, we've rallied quite consistently from 20 to 7 all the way up till 8 o'clock. So we've had a good long period of time with a rally where we haven't really had any kind of new moves to the low. We had a little attempt here, but the high got taken out, and now we're kind of seeming a lot more happy at the VWAP than we were here. The other bullish argument is it's the second tag of the VWAP, and it's late in the day. If really it was that weak, we would expect to see a lot more selling, holding near the lows for a potential break to the low, not all the way up here, still with an hour to go. So, with those two arguments, what would you do in this case? Would you want to take the short, or would you want to pass on it? Have a think about it. Now, let's see exactly what happened. All that happened here is we stayed at the VWAP. We had a little push lower, and basically ended up being a scratch trade or a losing trade. Now, for me, I look at this, and initially, I'm thinking, well, even when I'm saying the short side now, I'm thinking, yeah, it sounds great. But when you look at the bull side, this is why it's so important, guys, and this is why I'm going to carry on doing this series, because I think it's really useful for us to think of both sides. If you go into this and you look at the trade and you say, right, why is it a good X, in this term, short, no pun intended, I know this is X, why is it a good short? And you give all these logical reasons, and they're all good reasons, right? We are low, we haven't attempted to push up, tick, 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 all sounds great. But then when you ask the question, what are the bullish arguments for this trade? And the bullish arguments are, hey, well, we haven't pushed. You start to think, well, actually, maybe it's not quite as sweet a short as I thought it was. If I'd still take it, where should my risk be? It's not a full boat short. It maybe we felt it was before, but it's not now. And so there's a couple of things that spring to mind with this particular example, guys. Is that one, I think if you're tagging the VWAP again and you've only got an hour left and you're at the VWAP, you've got to expect the price is probably going to be happier at the VWAP than it is at the low or the high. It's okay if it's come back and just one tag and then it starts to push away, but the fact that it's drifted and for such a long period of time as well, that's the other thing I think you've got to be cautious of. You know, it's over an hour of chugging without any heavy selling. So the sellers have had an hour of better price and have not got hold of it. Now, is this super bullish? No, of course it's not. And I mean, I wouldn't have never taken this long because of the whole framework of it, the fact that we gap low, we haven't pulled back. But is it still a short? Not necessarily. This is what the point of this exercise is, to go through and say, okay, let's look at the price action. Let's look and see what's happened. And so a couple of things to learn from here. Second tag of the VWAP, be cautious, especially if it's late in the day. Be cautious of a counter trend move that goes a long way. Obviously, make sure you remember what's going on in terms of the overall picture, the gap down, that's all good. But in reality, a better trade for this would be to hold way below the VWAP and started to have, rolled back, at least started to have some selling pressure coming in. Then maybe it would be a better breakout trade. You could take the low breakout for a push into the hour. Everyone's trying to scramble to do their stuff. And guys, if you like this kind of series, give it a thumbs up because we'll do more of it. And in comments in the comment section below, let me know your thoughts on this one. And look out for the next one coming up soon. Take care. Bye-bye.